Hi guys, so today we are going to solve for x. This is the 2023 November paper. So we are going to start with 1.1.1, which says that solve for x squared plus x minus 12. So the first thing that I'm going to do is to write down the equation. X squared, the plus of x, then minus 12 is equals to 0, right? So we're just going to look for the factors that when we multiply them, we are going to get a 12, and when we add them, we are going to get a positive 1, right? So if we do have a 2 here, it means that we have to make sure that when we add those vectors, we should be able to get a 2. And pay attention when it comes to the sign here, right? So I'm going to just say that our first x is there, and then that will be equals to 0. So with this, it means that we can think about maybe something like 2 times 6, and then this will give us a 12. But the fact that when we say we add them with a negative 2 here, we are going to get a positive 4. If we have a positive 2 and negative 6, we are going to get a negative 4. So another factors will be 4 and 3, right? So with 4 and 3, this means that when we multiply them, we are going to get a 12. And then when we add them with positive 4 and minus 3, this is going to give us a 1, meaning that we can now go and say positive 4 minus 3. So the reason why we are doing this, we know that when we multiply them, we are going to get a negative 12. However, when we add them, 4 minus 3 will definitely give us a positive 1. So these are the correct factors that we should actually use when we are solving for x here, right? So this one, when it comes out, will be negative 4, and then the other one will be x, which is equal to positive 3. This is actually the simplest way to solve this particular equation. So let's proceed to the next question. So as you can see that 1.1.2, they are saying that you should make sure that your answers are actually correct to two decimal places. Then they're just telling you that you can use a quadratic formula as given, right? So I will just go and say that my quadratic equation or formula will be x, which is equals to minus b plus or minus, and then we are going to have b squared minus 4ac all over 2 2a, right? And we know that this is our a, this is our b, and also this will be our c. And remember that you will have to take this to the other side, and that will be 3x squared minus 2x minus 6 equal to 0, and then a, b, c, right? And then with that, it means that you are going to substitute the values negative into negative b, which is 2, the plus or minus, and then our b will be negative 2 squared minus 4, our a will be 3, and then our c will be negative 6 all over 2a, which is your 3. So this is actually perfect. You can come here and say that the answer for this, when you punch on the calculator, will definitely give you 1.79 to two decimal place, and then or maybe the other one will be 1.12 as you are giving them as two decimal place. So as I said that I want to show you, you can see that this is what you punched in, and you can just go and say equals to, and then get the value 1.78, and that will be a 6 after 8, and then meaning that you round it to 9, if this 6 was 4321, then you're not supposed to add any number here. Then you have to write 1,78. So if the number here is above 4, like from 5 to 9, then you have to make sure that you round it up to 79. Okay, so then now I just want to see if we can actually change the plus sign to a negative sign, because here we said plus or minus. So now I just want to delete that, place a negative and say is equals to, and then I'm going to get negative 1 comma 1 1. So this is a 9, we round it up to a 2, so then that will be 1 2, negative 1 comma 1 2. So that's how we can actually deal with this one. It's very simple, you don't have to panic, and that's how you can solve it. So now we are moving to 1.1.3. So 1.1.3 will definitely be the square root of 2x plus 1, which is equals to x minus 1. So the first thing that you should check here is that we do have a square root here and we have to solve for x. So we have to come with a way so that we can be able to remove, let me change the color, so that we can be able to remove the square root here, right? So now I will just come here and say let's square both sides, and then this square will definitely cancel the square root, and then our equation will be 2x plus 1, which is equals to, let's expand this, x minus 1 and then x minus 1. So now let's try to solve this one here. X times x and x squared, x and times negative 1, negative x, and then negative 1 times x, negative x, and then negative 1 times negative 1 will give us a positive 1. Then here we have our 2x plus 1, right? So 2x plus 1, which is equals to, this one will give us a negative 2, and then negative 2x plus 1. So the best thing is to take everything and bring it to the other side. So I think now we can be able to do what? To finalize our equation, right? So I will now say 2x, the plus of 1, then this one will be negative x squared, and then this one will be positive, and then this one will be negative 1, which is equal to 0, right? So I was trying to change the color here so that we can be able to cancel everything accordingly. Let's check here. 2 and 2 will give us 4, but let's start with this one, negative x squared and then plus 4x, and then 1 minus 1 will give us a 0, so meaning that this will equal to that. So then another thing is that our x squared is actually negative, so you can multiply the entire equation with negative, and that will give you x squared minus 4x, right? So then now I think we have to take in a common factor, and then x into, now the color is changing, my apologies for that. Then this will be x into x here minus 4, right? Is equals to 0. So if you check here, you'll be able to see that if you multiply everything in the bracket with by x, you'll be able to get this equation, meaning that you've taken out the common factor. So this means that your final answer for this will be x equals to 0, and then or x is equals to 4. So this is actually a solution that we need in order for us to get 4 marks. So in order for us to finalize the answer here, we need to substitute this and this into the equation to see if the left hand side is equals to the right hand side, right? So we'll start with 0. The square root of 2 times 0 plus 1 equals to 0 minus 1. So this will definitely give us what? The square root of 1, and also this side will give us the negative 1. So this will be 1, which is not equal to negative 1. Okay, so then let's try 4. So then the square root of 4 times 2, which is 8 plus 1, equals to 4 minus 1. Square root of 9 will be 3, and then equals to 3. So meaning that this is correct. So now we are going to complete 1.1.4, and that will be x squared minus 3 greater than 2x. And the first thing that we are going to do is to take 2 to the other side, and then x squared minus 3 minus 2x greater than 0, and then rearrange the values, and then that will be x squared minus 2x minus 3 greater than 0. So we need the factors of 3 that will give us negative 3 when we multiply them. So I usually do this when I want to do that. I can say that what about 3 times 1? This will give us 3, and then when we add it, will give us a 4. However, if we can make this a minus and then this a positive, this times this will give us negative 3, and then when we add them, we are going to get negative 2. So it means that now that applies. So our factors will be 3, which is negative 3, and also positive 1 greater than 0. So the final part that we need now is to get our values, right? So when we talk about getting our values, we are talking about the following values, right? X. So remember that you don't have to do this, right? I just want to show you how you can actually do it. And then OX is equals to negative 1. And remember, we are looking for the values that are greater than 0, the values of x greater than 0. So we have to go and sketch a graph for these values, right? So let me erase the board. We have to sketch a graph of the given values. And with that, it means that, just want to do this, it means that our graph will be moving from negative 1, it's like a number line, up until 3, right? So these are the values that we are going to use on our graph, just to be able to see the domain or the range, anything with regard to the given graph. So in order for us to see if the graph is decrementing, which is decreasing, or incrementing, we have to check the sign of our first value, x squared. If this is a positive, as it is, it means that our graph is incrementing. And then if this x squared is negative, it means our graph is decrementing, decreasing. So meaning that now this is positive and our graph is incrementing like that. So with this, we know that we are looking for the x values that where the graph is greater than 0, and that will be this space, and also that will be this space. Okay, if this is the case, that will mean that you can now say that the values of x are as follows, right? Negative, let me see, -1 less x less 3. So this is what I usually do, just to say that where x is less than -1 and where x is greater than 3. So I don't know, but most of the time I just used to say, okay, -1 less x less 3. Most of them are like this, but in order for me to explain this, we can say that where x is less than -1, a x value is greater than 0, and where x is greater than 3, this portion here. So you should know that this will be the final answer, right? Another thing is that you can say that x is actually from negative infinity up until -1, and then the other one will be 3 to positive infinity. So that's how it is. So x element of 3 up until positive infinity. So this is what you can write for this particular equation. So I hope that you do understand it. So now we are moving to 1.2, and that will be this equation and this equation. So we have to solve them simultaneously. This is the simplest one. Let's say that this is equation 1, this is equation 2. So then I'll take x, which is plus 2 and equals to 2y. And I won't actually make another fraction here. I'll just make our x to equal 2y minus 2. And this is our equation 1. And then we have to substitute 1 into 2. And then that will be what? 1 all over 2y minus 2. And then the plus of 1 all over y is equal to 1. This is actually the simplest according to my comprehension, because we can now try to eliminate the complexity of this particular equation. And in order for us to do that, let me see if we can get a space. Let me just do this here. And then since we are going to, let me see if I can do that. Okay, cool. We can continue. So in order for us to eliminate this fraction, we have to multiply the entire equation with this guy here. Okay, so I just wanted to change some color. Okay, cool. So if we say that the entire equation multiplied by 2y minus 2, this guy will cancel this guy, and then we'll be left with 1 here, right? Plus, and then 1, and that 1 will definitely be the multiplication of 2y, and then there will be 2y minus 2 all over y, and then this side we are going to have 1 into 2y minus 2. So we multiplied the entire equation with this guy. Okay, cool. If you check here, you'll see that now we are left with this one as a fraction. So we're multiplying again with y so that we can eliminate this guy here. And then with that, let's see how we can be able to do it. So I'm going to multiply the equation with this, and then here 1 times y will be y, and then the plus of here we are going to multiply with y, and then that y will cancel the other one down there, be left with 2y minus 2, and then which is equals to, and then 1 times this will remain the same, and then we're going to have our y into 2y minus 2. So this is what we are left with at the moment after the cross multiplication, right? So now we have our 2y minus 2, and then plus y. This side we have 2y squared, and then we take it to the other side, minus 2y squared, and then this one will be negative 2y, and then this side will be positive 2y, which is equals to 0. So then after that we are trying to add them up, right? So 2y plus this will give us a 5. So minus 2y squared, then the plus of 5y minus 2 is equals to 0. So this is actually interesting because we are able to deal with this equation that you can see now. And with that, it means that we can multiply the entire equation with negative so that this guy can be positive. And we'll be left with 2y squared plus, oh sorry, not plus, it will never be a plus sign because we cross multiplied, right? Minus 5y, then the plus of 2, which is equals to 0. So if you want to get the solution for this, you can use a quadratic formula, and then you can then get the following values. That will be y, which is equals to 2, or y is equals to 1 all over 2. So yeah, this is actually the solution. And if you want to get maybe your x values, then you'll have to go back to the equation 1 and substitute the values in order for you to get the x values. And with that, it means that we can come here and say x is equals to 2 into what is our y, 2 minus 2, and then that will be 4, and then at the end we are going to get a positive 2, right? And then the other one will be x, which is equals to 2 into half and minus 2, and then this will end up with what? This one is 1, this will end up with negative 1. So that means that our final values will be as follows. Let me see if I can get these to work. 2, which will be 2, and then 2, and then the other one will be what? Will be negative 1 and 1 over 2. So this will be our final answer for this particular equation. So I hope that you do understand. If you don't understand, please comment, and then I'll come back to you. So this is actually our final question. Given this, where m and n are integers, meaning they are numbers, determine the value of m plus n. This is the simplest. Okay, so I'm going to just write 2m plus 1, the plus of 2 to the power m, and then 3n plus 2, then the minus of 3, right? Oh, that looks like b. I don't like it. It looks like a b, so I have to erase that and write minus 3n, right? So the best way to approach this is to make sure that you split this, and that will be 2 to the exponent m, and then times 2 to the exponent 1. So when you split them, you multiply the base, okay? So then plus 2m is equals to this one is plus 2, remember, 3n, and then multiply that by 3 to the exponent 2 minus 3 to the exponent n. So now it means that you can take a common factor here as given, right? The common factor this side, the color is not doing well. The common factor this side will be 2 to the exponent m, and then here you're going to have a 2, and then here you're going to have plus 1, which is equals to 3 to the exponent n, and then this one will be 3 to the exponent 2, and then that will be minus 1. So with this, we know that we have this one here, and then we're going to add then 2 to the exponent m, and then times 3 is equals to 3 to the exponent n into, so this one will be what, a 9, minus 1, that will be an 8. Okay, so with that, we are trying to make sure that we have similar bases so that we can add the exponent. So we're going to say 2 to the exponent m, and then 3 this side, and then 3 to the exponent n, and this one will be 2 to the exponent 3. If you don't know about this, please go and watch my mathematics series. You'll be able to understand how this works. Okay, so then moving forward, now we know that this is and this base, they are similar, and we know that this is actually to the exponent 1, just that it won't show. And with that, it means that we can now add the exponent, or we can now equate the exponent, meaning that n is equals to 1, and then here, as you can see, you have a 2, and then another base this side is 2. You can now equate or equalize the exponents, and then m is equals to 3. So then you are done with 4 marks. That's why they gave you 4 marks. They know that this is the simplest question, and they said determine the value of m plus n, meaning that m plus n is equals to 1 plus 3, and then that will be 4. Okay, so you can just say 3 plus 1 if you want, just that I started with this to this. So yeah, that's it, and that's how you get 100% in mathematics.